I did want to share a story with you though, because if anyone can appreciate it, and probably some of our listeners as well, I was like, well, this is the place to tell the story. So I was going through in this room. This room is kind of a transitional room in my house. It used to be my office, kind of my podcasting studio. I mean, studio is a really strong word. It's definitely don't have a podcasting studio, but this is where I podcast. And a lot of my Star Wars collectibles book collections all up here, and now has become my son's bedroom. So I literally have to kick him out when I'm podcasting. That's I just don't have a permanent space really for podcasting anymore, and we have some stuff going on as far as renovations and all that. But so I'm going through books. I'm trying to clear out space for him because I feel bad. I'm like, this is supposed to be his bedroom, but it's basically overtaken by all my Star Wars collectibles and books and Lego sets and
I mean, who wouldn't want a whole room of Star Wars Lego sets and Star Wars books and then collectibles, right?
You would think that any 10-year-old would love
Right?
that
It's
to be their
perfect.
bedroom. But no, my son's Dad, you got to get your stuff out of here. I need more space, So I'm cleaning off a couple shelves, going through some books, and I come across Vector Prime.
Ooh.
The for those of you that may not know what Vector Prime is, it's the first book of the infamous or maybe famous Yusin Vong series of Star Wars Legends novels way back in the
Yes.
day. But kind of a big deal, right? Like for
Oh, it's a huge
Legends,
deal.
at the time,
Mm-hmm.
big EU readers, that was huge. That
Oh
series
yeah.
came out, and that book was kind of groundbreaking in a few different ways. So I was trying, like, I pull the book out, and my son's there, and he doesn't, he's 10. He only knows new Star Wars, and so I'm kind of trying to
And Vector
explain.
Prime is a bit darker for,
Yeah, absolutely. So
yeah.
I'm trying to explain to him that there's this alternate history for some of these characters, like, because he was asking about, I'm like, yeah, Luke Skywalker, like this book is telling the story of like Luke, but not what you see in the prequel or the sequel trilogy. This is a different version of Luke. Like it's a whole alternate universe that's out there for Star Wars. And he was
Mm-hmm.
kind of getting curious and stuff. And so I'm getting excited, like, oh, he kind of wants to hear more about this. So I'm like, I told him Chewbacca died because I wanted him to be surprised,
Right.
shocked. I know he's 10. He's never going to read the book. Maybe he will pick it up sometime later in his life, but
I'll
I know
probably
he's not going
forget
to
at
read it
that point.
anytime soon. So I was just like, yeah, they even killed Chewbacca. Can you believe that? And he was like, no way. I'm like, yeah. So I flipped to the chapter. I forget what chapter it was.
Mm-hmm.
If you could pull that out of your memory, I would be amazed.
Oh, I
But I
have
think
no
it's,
idea. I can't remember if it's the beginning or the end. I
I feel
feel
like
like
it's
it's
like
maybe closer
chapter
to the end.
17,
Yeah, I feel like
maybe.
I remember it being like vaguely somewhat early because they wanted to like shock people as they're getting into the book.
I was
Uh,
surprised how
but
fast I found it.
yeah.
It's somewhere I think around 3/4 of the way through the book,
Okay.
and I found it, and so I start reading it to him. I'm like, I'm just gonna read the scene to him just so he can see how dramatic it is. And I was telling him
Yeah.
like Han Solo had a son named Anakin, and like Chewie's there, and Chewie's like saving Anakin. That's like why he died because like he took the time to save Anakin, and all this spoilers for anyone that hasn't read this book. I'm sorry, it came out like forever ago,
It was
but
like what, 90s, the late 90s? Yeah, it's been a
yeah,
while.
it's been a while. So we've passed the 20-year spoiler mark, I think. But
Oh, for sure.
so I'm telling, and I start reading it, and I had a very unexpected reaction. I started crying, William, when I was
Wow.
reading the scene. Like I was reading the scene to my son, and I have not read the scene in
Yeah.
years. I'm not one to reread books a lot.
Yeah,
So like
I'm the same. I don't reread them all the time. I wish I could. I wish I did, but I don't often.
it could be 15 plus years since I've read the scene. And I had remembered in my head kind of like what happened,
Uh-huh.
but I'm reading it and like just the build up and him, handing Anakin up, and Han is like angry at Anakin, because he didn't want them to leave him behind.
Right.
And Anakin knew that the only way that they were going to save themselves and the people that they were saving on the ship was to sacrifice Chewie. He just knew there was no way they're going to get back
Yeah.
to him. And so he had to make that choice. And so it's heart wrenching. I'm like
Oh,
reading the
it's
scene,
it's all coming back to me now. I'm
and I'm
remembering
reading the
all
scene,
of
and
it.
they talk about like the iconic part where he like raises his arms up to the
Hmm.
moon in defiance. And I'm literally
Oh,
visible tears coming down my face. I was like, I did not realize the imprint or impact that that book had
yeah.
on me, that it brought that out of me. Like
Oh,
it was crazy. Like I couldn't believe it. it was an unexpected emotional reaction to something I haven't thought about in forever.
Wow.
So yeah, I've figured if
Uh,
there's any place I can tell that story that people might appreciate it.
I have not read Vector Prime. I think I only read it once, and it I think it was I got into Star Wars books. Oh, I want to say 2002 is when I started. 2001 is when I started reading. No, actually, no, it was probably 2000 is when I started reading like the Jedi Apprentice books, 99 or 2000. But 2002 is probably when I started reading the new Jedi Order, 2003.
I'm not even going to ask how old you were because it's going to
And
make me feel really old. So I don't care how old you were in 2002.
I was just entering high school. Um,
Wow.
and yeah, it's been a while, but honestly, I wouldn't be surprised if I had the same reaction going back. Even as you were telling it, like secondhand, I was starting to feel that again. Like, oh my god, it's all coming back to me. Oh my gosh, all these moments. It it was a big book. It was
And think about
a
that was something that we didn't
momentous.
know, right? Like
No, we had no. You just cracked open the book. You
no
started reading. Oh, this
spoilers.
new series. Boom, Chewie's dead. You
Yeah,
know,
it just
and the way
reading.
they framed it, oh, it's great.
And if you're gonna kill Chewie, and I know this is probably a controversial opinion in Star Wars. I didn't really have a problem with the using long books,
Yeah.
New Jedi
No,
Order.
I didn't either. I enjoyed them.
I
They're
enjoyed them.
different style, but it's fine.
I think some of them were misses overall. The story was entertaining,
I mean,
and
you had what, 21, 22 books, whatever it
like
was, or more?
19 full
19?
novels. Yeah,
Yeah, I guess yeah, probably it was probably 20 some odd with like the novellas and stuff.
yeah, right.
I don't know why 20 was sticking in my head. The Of course some are going to be misses, right? Then you're not going to have a perfect series, but
But I do,
yeah.
what I did appreciate about that series, and I did not intend this to become like a defense of the New Jedi Order part of the show. I just wanted to tell that
Right.
story, and we'll move on quickly. But what I did appreciate about it was you felt a sense of danger and peril for the characters, and that they weren't afraid to shock you with certain character deaths. Now they didn't kill off anybody else too major. Later on you could say some EU introduced characters were killed,
Mm-hmm.
but like the core characters
Right.
were mostly pretty safe throughout, other than Chewbacca. But that first initial shock of him dying, I appreciated it actually.
Yeah.
I
Oh
wasn't one of
yeah.
those that was like, how dare they
It
kill
raised the
Chewie.
stakes.
I was like,
Yeah.
okay, okay.
I mean,
And
I was sad. I was like, but
if you're gonna have
yeah.
Chewie go out, what better way than him saving the child of his best friend
Yep.
while like raising his arms in defiance to a falling moon? I mean,
Perfect. It's
to
perfect.
me, it's the
Doesn't
best
get
way
much
that
better
he
than
could have
that.
gone out. There's no other way that you can kill Chewie other than
Right.
having a moon fall on him, right? Like
I couldn't
nothing
agree
less
more.
could take him out. So yeah, so there you go. That was my walk down memory lane
Oh,
of the new Jedi Order. And yeah, now it kind of makes me want to pick some of those books back up and reread
I
them
do.
now.
I do too. One of our mutual friends, Steven, has been rereading the X-Wing novels, and I've been wanting to. And they just they've been releasing some of them in audiobook form. The Kratos Trap, I think, comes out next week, and it's been making me want to go back and reread some of the older Star Wars books. For a long time, I had a stack of books I hadn't gone through. I keep up with all the Star Wars books, but I had a bunch of other books I've been wanting to read. And I had a stack of, I don't know, 50 plus books, 50, 60 books. And I've been slowly making my way through all of them over the last 6 months. I'm almost done. I'm like, oh, by the end of the year, I might be out of like things on my backlog to read. And maybe I'll go back and start rereading some of the older classics again, because that'd be fun.